Thank you, Frank. Good evening, everyone. Well, I've got 3 minutes to say something new and different about someone I worked alongside of for 30 years. Well, here goes. First time I ever heard Sara Gavin's name came during a meeting with my boss, Sara's father, Quinn Hippis, in the Public Relations Department of long-departed International Multifoods. Our talks were usually business-related, but this one started differently. I've got this daughter, Sara, Quinn said. She thinks she might want to go into public relations. She could be really good. I mean, she's really, really smart. A lot smarter than I am. Well, having demonstrated the minimum intelligence standard for the profession, Sara seemed to have a bright future. I probably said that to Quinn, which was reflected in a later review. Fast forward about 10 years, and I'd started, as Frank's video showed, a small public relations firm, David L. Mona and Associates, which had become Mona and McGrath. And I met a former Multifoods colleague of mine, Scott Meyer, as we were both leaving a client breakfast at the Lincoln Dell after a breakfast meeting in 1986. The talk quickly turned to the possibility of merging our company with his company, Dorn Swenson Meyer. We started making lists of the assets of the two companies, and it quickly became clear that by far one of the greatest assets that Dorn Swenson Meyer had was Scott's partner, Sara Gavin. I'm not only talking technical skills, which were superb, but her sense of community, her values, and her business ethics. She turned out to be everything her father Quinn had visualized and more. Her background, I was soon to learn, however, was not unblemished. While this appears nowhere on any of Sara's many bios, Sara relatively early in life achieved the rare distinction of being kicked out of Girl Scouts for smoking. Smoking one of the perhaps 6 cigarettes she had in an entire lifetime. The Girl Scouts, however, many years later recognized the hastiness of their judgment by giving her one of their community service rewards. Sara is such a deserving winner of this recognition. Her professional competence is exceeded only by her compassion for her clients and community and her dedication to her staff and her wonderful family. I still have vivid recollections of thoughtful and comprehensive memos that were sent from the hospital during the birth of one of her 4 children. I admit to looking at the timestamps to best guess if they were written en route to the delivery room or while still in the recovery room. She's an absolutely tireless worker who is never too busy to listen to the cares, challenges, and concerns of everyone from her clients and from our most senior officers to our receptionists. She's one of the most remarkable people I've ever had the opportunity to work with. I'm proud to call her a friend, invite her up right now to receive this appropriate recognition. Ladies and gentlemen, Sara Gavin.
Thank you, Dave. That was lovely. You always are so eloquent. And while I appreciate the introduction, I really appreciate our friendship and our partnership over a lot of years now, since that time when we sort of bravely hung out that proverbial shingle together. Thank you, Allison, wherever you are, and Twin Cities Business for this honor. Honestly, it caught me by surprise. And as I dug deeper into past honorees, including Dave and Lynn and a lot of people that I know, and admire, it humbled me. So I appreciate this. I'm very grateful. Allison, I'm a little less grateful to know that there are comparisons about great speeches in the future, but I will get over it. So our work at Weber Shandwick is pretty much a team sport, right? The magic of what we do happens when we rally really talented people with lots of disciplines and skills and judgment and so on, and creativity to find a solution for our clients. With that idea of teamwork as a backdrop, I want to start by acknowledging some teams who are important to me and who are here tonight. My first and most important team, of course, is my family, somewhere over there. These lights are very helpful. My husband Tom is here. Our son Ryan is here, one of our 4 children, who are now young adults and forging paths of their own, and in whom I truly daily rejoice. I mean, it's one of the great joys of my life. And my dad is here, Quint Hippis, who was mentioned by Dave. And while you did pick up that he is a career whisperer, and he was that for me, the real gift that he created was the family he and my mother created, and that is one of my main ballasts. So I feel very fortunate. Then there are the stars in my firmament team that are here tonight. I want to thank, I'm pointing in the right direction, Gail Hyman, our global CEO, Andy Polanski, who's CEO of a major business unit within our parent company, Jack Leslie, my pal, and our global chairman, Rana Komar, who leads our central region. Thank you all for traveling. You live on planes, you live in airports, and it's really, I'm very touched that you're here with me tonight. It means a lot. And I should say, I think you know this, but every single day I'm inspired by your passion for our business and how we think about our client and your courage and your integrity, and I am just thrilled to be part of the organization. And of course, there's my Twin Cities team of teams. There's like several tables occupied over in that direction. Many are clients and colleagues, current and former, and they're all friends, and I feel really thrilled that you're here. Those tables include some of our firm's very early day colleagues, the beginning, Dave and Linda Mona, Betsy Buckley, wife of Dennis McGrath, Mary Jeffries, Carrie Bjorhus, all of whom share the history that we've been talking about. A shout out to Lorenz Esguerra, who leads our Twin Cities operation and firm in a role that I had and cherished for a long time. It's a thrill to see him building the office in the way that he is. I have appreciation for the presence of Chris Hilger and some of his leadership team from Securian Financial. It's a board that I sit on and one that I'm very proud to be associated with. And similarly, St. Catherine's University, Becky Roloff and her team, Becky's president of the university, she's also a dear friend, and St. Catherine's is my alumni. And of course, I must mention special props to Judy Kraus, my assistant. She daily moves mountains. She generally keeps the earth, or at least my earth, rotating properly on its axis, so I'm grateful that you're here and you are my partner. I can't name everybody at that table over there, but you know who you are. Frank would never get back to the broadcast. You know who you are, and I know who you are, and I am bolstered and touched that you're here tonight. Thank you for coming. I won't retell the Weber Shandwick history. Liz did a great job in the article. The video captured some of it. But I do want to touch on just one theme that was in the video, and that is, it was one of our earliest motivations for building a firm here in the Twin Cities. And it has a lot to do with how I see this market and how I think we operate in this market. Our firm was born largely of the audacious conviction that we could deliver national caliber work for clients right here in the Twin Cities. Of the aspiration that if you wanted to become a fantastic practitioner and a great professional in our field, you did not need to leave this market. Why was that audacious? Well, there was no internet, there was no remote working, that wasn't a thing yet. And at the time, much of the really important work in our market for advertising and public relations was sent to the coasts. So we thought, we can do it here. We really can do it here. And more on the instinct than any master plan, and despite the time or two when we actually considered whether or not we wouldn't be able to pay ourselves in order to meet payroll, I think that only happened once, and all the other setbacks that come from learning how to run a business, we actually never wavered in that belief. And the formula took shape pretty quickly: trust, respect, ethics, humanity, and laughter within the walls, connecting really talented people to really interesting client assignments, delivering only work that we were proud to put on our letterhead, that put our name on, understanding soon that our clients, becoming aware, I guess, of understanding that our clients were not hiring us, they were entrusting us. They were entrusting their brand, their reputation, their issues, and so on. And the proof points began to pile up, as you saw in the video. Big national companies like Honeywell and Northwest Airlines asked us to do work not only here, but around the country and around the world. And our people, this is what's most important, our people began to get chances to work on amazing brands like Coca-Cola, brands in the market and outside the market, later the U.S. Army, the U.S. Census, and some major assignments that had real policy and impact. So our decision to become part of Weber Shandwick, which was a global firm with way more resources to bring to our clients, also sped those opportunities for our talented people to learn and grow and thrive. And as I've thought about it and I thought about this set of comments, I concluded that our conviction was well-founded and well-placed. 2 weeks ago, I was talking to a principal in a national search firm. She specializes in placing communications executives, and so I asked her the question that would be normal for me to ask, given my remit across North America, and I said, where are the great talent markets? Like, where do you see amazing talent? And she said, always in the Twin Cities. So that was a good corroboration, I think. I see it every single day when I walk into our office. I see it among our thoughtful and strategic clients who are anchored in companies here. I see it among our very excellent competitors. And it's a point of pride for me, and I know, Dave, that so many of our Weber Shandwick alums now hold senior communications roles at places like Land O'Lakes and Ecolab and Cargill and United Healthcare and Stratasys and St. Catherine's University, Macalester College and the University of St. Thomas. Several former colleagues have founded firms of their own, begetting more great talent. 2 of them became ministers, to me the ultimate communications job. And I will tell you that when Minnesotans, agencies and clients and corporations from this market get on the plane to go to New York, where all the awards happen and so on, the planes come back with a heavier load. We win a lot of hardware and a lot of awards for the recognition that happens here. So I think that's good for all of us. I think it's good for our market. It lifts the sort of the intellectual and creative community here. And I'm very proud of the part that Weber Shandwick has played in that. I see it richly in our community. And that brings me to my last point. John Milton wrote, good, the more communicated, more abundant grows. And I think that that's also good for all of us. And in an era, a time of division and incivility, when disinformation can happen at scale, when media change is the norm rather than the exception, I truly believe that trustworthy, transparent, compelling, creative, and strategic communications have never been more important. And so I'm very, very optimistic about the future and the relevance of our industry. I'm truly excited to come into work every day, as I indicated. And I just want to say congratulations to the other honorees and to thank Twin Cities Business for all that it does to elevate and talk and tell the stories of our community here. Thank you.